up with the world? It's your boy Sleepy J. You are tuned into the Champs Podcast. I am your host, Sleepy J, and my co-host over here is...
This is Coach Rudy, and we are here live with our new producer, Kyle Neal Matthews. Those of you who haven't heard his voice, it's because we're not allowing it to be heard.
And he may or may not be here against his own will, but, we're not going to admit to nothing because, you're recording us.
Yeah, I mean, y'all don't see him, so y'all don't see us. Who's to say we even exist? Me, I say we exist.
All right, guys. We are back with episode 2 of the Champs Podcast. Again, I know you guys all listened. I've seen the stats. Appreciate each and every single one of you guys for doing so. I apologize. Modog is in the building. She is letting herself be known by barking and grunting at the dogs outside. But
yeah, so we allow her voice, but we don't allow Kyle to speak. He gets kind of salty about that, but who cares?
Yeah. Anyways, so today we are going to tackle
the quarterbacks of the NFL.
Yes, there's a lot of quarterback talk. Obviously, we're getting ready for the season, so we have a lot of speculations on what people are going to do. And in the preseason, obviously, we have a little glimpse of some players here and there.
So the Cowboys won their last preseason game.
Yes.
They took it to the Chargers. Once again, a game that really didn't matter in the sense that most of those players... Look, I'm actually a big fan of the preseason in its importance.
Right.
But if you don't utilize it, then you're not doing your team any service. And when I say utilize it, I mean you have to let your players play.
Right.
I'm not saying the whole game, but there's a reason why collegiate teams will oftentimes put up a sorry opponent early on. They got to get their rhythm.
Right.
When teams do this, even if they're not going to do it against in the games that count, they'll do it for scrimmages at least.
Right.
They'll scrimmage against other teams to get themselves some kind of rhythm going, some kind of reality to the game. And when they choose to ignore the preseason and not utilize it for those purposes, then I think they do a disservice to themselves. That said, there was a couple guys that are going to show
some flares
here
and there. Yeah.
But I don't really want to get hung up on the preseason right now because I'm kind of pissed off about it being condensed to 3 games.
Well, in the previous year, we did talk about why we felt it was important. So we don't really need to touch it again. If you want to know that one, go to last year's preseason and you can hear.
You wrong, cuz.
The only thing you really need to know about that is, yes, it's important to see who you're going to cut, because I know that's where we try out a lot of the rookies that we've drafted or whatever. But outside of that, right now, if you're not using it for that purposes, and I don't really, that's the purpose you should be using it for. For me, being in St. Louis so many years, and we had the Rams, they always looked good in the preseason. Just when the games came to real season games, they weren't, at least early on when they were there. And so because of that, I was just like, it doesn't matter. I always had the feeling of like, if you do great in the preseason, you're gonna have a shitty fucking regular season.
It's not always so, but a lot of times you'll see the Browns type team, like dominate and then do nothing.
Right.
So
exactly. Like
I get it.
A lot of times a lot of teams will do what you're saying. They're trying out some of their best talent to see what they're gonna do. Then there's some teams that are just trying out their rookies. They're not really working them. And so the results are always different on what the organization's wanting to do.
Yeah, for me, I used to judge the preseason by the first half.
Yeah.
Like, I look at the first half score, not at the end of game score.
Right.
Because the end of game score, you got guys that aren't going to play. Look, I respect those guys out there trying to make the squad.
Right.
And without these types of things, you don't have a Tony Romo in the NFL.
Right.
You need your chance to show what you can do. So I'm a big fan of it when it's done properly. That said, I don't think the Cowboys are doing it properly this year. And part of it is just because they're so beat up. They can't risk hurting anybody else. But anyways,
That's enough of that.
Let's
move
get
on.
back to the quarterback thing because there's a lot of quarterbacks to talk about.
Yeah, this is not going to be like your running backs last year.
Shut up your face. All right. If anybody knows Johnny, I'm gonna kill him. All right. So we kind of took an approach this year for the quarterbacks.
Go ahead and try it. I'll send you to hell with Big Al. I was trying to hold it back, but I had to say it.
You would know Big Al. All right. So generally speaking, when people want to talk about who the better quarterbacks are, they'll say the top 5 or top 10.
Okay.
You and I were talking about it, and we realized that there's 32 teams. Why
Right.
are you talking about top 5, top 10?
Right.
We were looking at top third. So you're going to get about 11,
Right.
right? So if we're talking about the top 11, as far as the legitimate, these are your starting quarterbacks that for this season,
Right.
you're happy with who you have.
Right.
Now, before we get into the top 11, there's probably 2 guys in the league that are better than the rest.
Right.
And those 2 guys that you and I talk about
Right.
are
Are two that I always say are my favorite ones.
Patrick
if you-
Mahomes
Right.
and
That Batman Aaron Rodgers.
yeah. So if you're going to look at who are the 2 best quarterbacks in the league, it's one of them that's back-to-back MVP,
Yep.
right?
Yep. I was gonna say that unfortunately, like even if you're trying to hate on him, he's won.
I don't hold him as high regards as most.
Right.
That said, game recognized game. I know how good he is.
Right.
So even I put him in the top 2
Right.
quarterback discussion. So I still put Patrick over him.
Yes.
But-
For me, anyone like a lot of people might just it's deriding for Patrick Mahomes, and honestly, it's just he's young. Like he's still very young in the game. He's done a lot in his very few years that he's been in the game, and I respect the fact that he's done what he's done. Like as opposed to like not that other players aren't good and young in the game, but he's already made it to a Super Bowl, won a Super Bowl. They praised him before he even made it as a starting quarterback that he could have
He's
started.
made it to 2 Super Bowls, 4 AFC Championship games
Right,
in 4 years of playing. I mean,
Yeah.
5 years in the league, but 4 years of playing.
right.
So you don't get much higher than that.
yeah, it's the only way to do that is if you've done repeat Super Bowls at that point.
Yeah, wins.
Yeah,
So we got Patrick, we got Aaron.
right.
And if we want to talk about them more in detail, we'll circle back around. But let's just first,
Throw them out because it's the Biggie and Tupac, Jay-Z. Like we already know those. Let's move on.
yeah. So now we got the next group of guys, and they are the top third quarterbacks in the league.
Okay.
Some people argue any one of these guys to be in the top 5 for the most part. Okay.
Right.
So Matt Stafford,
Okay.
elite quarterback, right?
I mean, he won the Super Bowl, so you can't really.
Yeah, I mean,
The most recent, yeah.
he put up great numbers throughout his career.
Yeah.
Won Super Bowl last year.
Yep.
Was a big difference maker.
Yep.
One of several for the Rams, but I mean, if someone wants to put him in the top 5, I get it.
Right.
Now remember, we're going top 11. So
Right.
we got 2 already. We throw Stafford out there. That's 3.
Yeah.
Now the rest of these guys that I'm talking right now,
Yeah.
they're not necessarily in order. So
Okay. These are just who
in
they
that
are.
grouping.
Yeah. Right.
we got Russell Wilson.
Right.
He's won a Super Bowl, been to 2,
Yeah.
right? Lamar Jackson,
Mm-hmm.
one of the more recent MVPs.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow. Dude was bad last year,
He
man.
was bad in a good way, not bad. This isn't bad.
I mean,
Yeah.
he showed he's legit.
He definitely was one of the ones that I thought had a shot of going all the way last year. So
I mean, can he get better? Yes. He's still young.
right,
But he's showing that he's already
he's got a lot
in
of
that
promise.
talk.
Yeah,
People hate on this one. Dakota Prescott.
Yeah.
But the reality is, he's one of the top third quarterbacks in the league. And we'll throw out some stats in a little bit that are going to support this argument and people are going to get pissed off at.
Okay.
Justin Herbert.
Okay.
Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Tom Brady before all these people have an aneurysm. Why you mention Tom Brady? And then the one that you were kind of saying is probably not in there.
Yeah.
Is Desean Watson.
Right.
And I get it. He hasn't played in a year and a half.
Right.
Or a year, and then this season he's going to miss 11 games.
Right.
So I understand why you're saying hold on. And understand me.
Yeah.
I look at him as a poor man's Dak. A lot of people get pissed off when I say that.
Right.
But I don't care.
I will go into like just a little bit further. Like, yeah, that's the stated obvious. And in football, especially, we have what have you done for me lately type of mentality. So, not that I don't think his talent is there, because we all know like the talent is there, but like just looking at it, like if he's gonna play, he's gonna play. You're right. But if he doesn't, and which he didn't play last year, it's not looking like he's gonna play a good majority of this year.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I actually didn't put him up there because I think of him that highly.
Yeah.
I put him up there because it seems like the rest of the world does. If people are putting him last year above Dak Prescott, above Russell Wilson, above Lamar Jackson, which a lot of the quote-unquote experts did, then that's why I put him in there. Honestly, when we rewind the clock and his last full season, where he only won 4 games, even though he put up good stats, to me, that says he's not in this grouping.
Yeah.
But I really did put him in there because that's what so many people
we harped on this last week, where like, where's your proof for like how do you stand on he is a better whenever you're going off of if we're going off stats, we're going off stats. There's nothing changing what the stats are. So if he had the receivers that Dak has, then he could. Well, yeah, if he fucking had
but he had receivers.
I know,
and he had running games and all that shit, and he didn't win.
I know.
So, I mean, but I'm trying to.
I get it. I know where you're coming from. I'm saying this for the listeners that I can say, like, here's why I can argue otherwise. Because in the next tier, I said I could switch about 3 or 4 of those people with him and be like, I feel like that's a fair assessment.
And I can't argue because some of these guys in that next tier could very well end up in this top section.
Right.
But if we're separating by tiers, I'm going to say this second tier is that tier of guys who you're satisfied with your quarterback, but you do have an eye out, could I get better?
I was gonna say, we all know there's these quarterbacks where you can, like, if you have them, they're solid, they're pretty good. But again, if you had the opportunity to get an Aaron Rodgers or a Patrick Mahomes, you would throw this guy out the window in a second and be like, fuck yeah, get him out here. Even though that they're winning and they're doing good, you would still go over this guy.
You would say, Matt Stafford's better. Yeah, Russell Wilson's better.
Right.
Like, maybe not that much better, but they're better.
Right.
Like, you would have that knowledge.
It would at least be similar to when they say that they were bringing McCarthy to the Cowboys, like the people that were like, well, he does have a Super Bowl ring. Like, yeah, but what really has he done compared to Garrett? Like, when you really break it down, like, the one Super Bowl, like.
Yeah. So, all right, here's that second, third grouping. We got Derek Carr.
Okay.
Kyler Murray. Once again, these aren't necessarily in order. They might fall in that order, but
coincidentally, they could be ranked in that order, but they're not necessarily.
So Derek Carr, Kyler Murray, Kirk Cousins, Jimmy G, and I know a lot of people would probably say, "Oh no, F that. Jimmy can't be in that." But look, the guy wins.
Yeah.
Like, you say what you want to.
I think it's weird that people are harsh on Jimmy. Like, I don't know if it's necessarily that he's not as good as he could be, or if he's just not necessarily got the
I think
same
people
opportunity.
don't like that porn star Jimmy. You remember that? That's what some people were calling him, right? Because he was
No.
dating porn stars.
Oh no.
Yeah, like right when he got to San Fran, he started publicly dating a porn star or whatever. So anyways, I think a lot of people hate on him because he's thought to by some to be a good looking guy and also not a team guy.
Right.
Like a lot of his teammates don't necessarily feel that he tries to be part of the team. He tries to be above it.
Okay.
So he doesn't make friends well.
Okay.
So I think that's part of the hate that he
He's
gets.
not necessarily a team player for like. Yeah, I get it.
But then he also gets hurt.
Yeah.
So when he's in there, they win. It's
Yeah.
not impressive. You're like, how the fuck are you winning? But he wins.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. He's fucking. Who is that fucking boxer? I can't remember his name. I remember he was a boxer. He fought Pacquiao, and I was like, how the fuck did he win? I feel like he got his ass kicked the whole fight, and then he fucking win. It was like Tim something or another. But yeah. Anyways.
So Mac Jones,
Okay.
Tannehill,
Okay.
Jared Goff,
Yeah.
to a T,
Okay.
Carson Wentz,
Okay.
Teddy Bridgewater,
Right.
and Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
That's that second grouping that we have. Now, there's some of these guys that right now are more successful than the others.
Right.
Some of these guys that are still young and proving themselves,
Yeah.
but they got the talent. Now,
Yeah.
so this grouping of guys either is talented or has been there and you can trust.
Right. Right.
You know what to expect from this group.
Yeah, there was when we were talking about Desean, I was like, I could swap out at least 2 or 3 of these guys and say like, yeah, they're easily, and it's going based off of what I said. Watson didn't play.
If you want to say Kyler, switch him and Deshaun. You want to say even Derek Carr or Mac Jones. I get it. You can say Tannehill. He's been successful these last 3 years. Wasn't his first several. But
Right. Yeah, definitely. Because I know I remember at one point we were all like, Tannehill sucks. Then he got over there, and now he's like kind of like on clicking. Everything's working for him, and you're like, huh, maybe he's not as bad as I thought he was.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely a work in progress type deal.
Yeah.
But so this is that second tier,
Right.
the second, third. So we're looking at 12 through 22 ish
Okay.
in the league,
Right.
right? Then we got that bottom half or bottom section of
Right.
starters, and these guys can play. Some of these guys are only in this section because they're so young and still haven't developed fully.
Right.
Some of these guys are old and they're on their way out.
Right.
And some of these guys are just there because, quite frankly, so many people suck even if they have a starting job. And these guys should probably be starting, except for the fact that they have such a low ceiling.
Right.
That's the reason why they're relegated to backups. So we got Daniel Jones,
Okay.
Justin Fields,
Right.
Zach Wilson. I know he's hurt right now, but him.
Right.
Trevor Lawrence, second year guy, he's got potential. Trey Lance,
Okay.
Jameis Winston. Now,
Right.
some people might say Jameis needs to be way higher than that. Well, yeah, but he also sucks. I mean, he can be great.
Like if he can stay healthy.
Yeah, I mean, he can make some passes, but he throws a lot of picks.
Right.
Baker Mayfield.
Okay.
I think Baker's one of those guys that could be higher, but he can also be out the league in 2 years if he was black. Yeah, I said it. We'll get into that in a second.
I was just gonna say if he doesn't do well this season, he's probably out.
But these white quarterbacks.
I mean, he definitely could get another chance after this, but as of right now, I'm gonna say he's gonna.
These white quarterbacks get opportunities to continue getting a paycheck for 15 years.
Well, I'm not gonna say because you know what
There's a handful of black quarterbacks too that have just sat on the bench the whole time.
No.
But I'm saying so many of these guys who were drafted high get this opportunity, but it's because people are like, "Well, you definitely have the talent. Why not?"
So what I'm saying, and because there's a handful of teams that whenever I hear a player goes there, I'm just writing them off as they're not going to do anything. Like we have those teams that we know like they're going to be contending, and so this is if he doesn't produce this year, he's not going to have a shot to be on a team that's going to be able to contend. That's where I'm saying like.
Gotcha. I thought you meant that he'll be out the league.
I mean that's possible too, but more than likely, if he doesn't do well this year, he might wind up on one of those teams that like. At least you got a solid fan base. You're not gonna. You don't have to do great. You could just kind of.
I mean, he might be relegated to a backup after this year.
That's possible too.
But I don't think that it definitively means that he's out of the league.
Yeah. No, I mean,
think it might mean that he is that backup, or he's gonna go explore TV opportunities.
Yeah, it's very well possible Case Keenum after this year.
Well, Case played a long time too.
Yeah, but Case didn't like he went on to being the backup after a while.
Yeah. All right, so we got Andy Dalton in this grouping, Jacoby Brissett, and Tyler Heineke.
Okay.
Then we got the guys who really could be in this same section, but they're not. And because they're not, they're guys that are really considered really good backups.
Right.
And we got Sam Darnold, which, because he was a starter for a while, I think he'd be a good backup. I really do. You got Cam Newton, who is not challenging for a starting job. I know he says he's one of the top 32 quarterbacks in the league. He was in an interview with the Pivot, and he said, "You can't tell me that there's 32 guys better than me."
Right.
I can, and I just did. But I think he's on that outside looking in. I would still like to have him as a backup.
Right.
You got Davis Mills, Tyrod Taylor, Drew Lock, Geno Smith, and Gardner Minshew. I think that's that next grouping of backups.
Gershu, right?
I don't know.
Last year, that's what I called him. You're like Gershu. It's yeah.
Yeah. So that's our list.
Right.
And when we're looking at it, if you want to tell me
one moment.
If you want to tell me that we need a new person managing our recording, I tell you, Kyle Matthews, you're on thin ice, buddy. You keep stopping us for no damn reason.
Did it last episode, doing it this episode.
Yeah. I don't want to hear it. Remember, part of your contract says you can't speak. All right, anyways. So, look, those of you heard the list. If you want to add somebody, take away somebody, move some people around, I'm going to tell you this. You're wrong. There might be a couple here or there. So some of these guys on the bottom.
Your leeway with this list is you can move a few of them to different, like, because they're not in order. We didn't rank them. We're just saying that these are the ones that we would say are in the
These
top.
are these tiers.
Right.
These guys are in these tiers. You can say Derek Carr should not be in the same tier as Jalen Hurts. Okay, we'll put Jalen Hurts at the bottom of the tier and then be happy.
Right.
Separate your tiers differently.
Because you would be upset if you actually looked at the paper because that time you had Tom Brady at the bottom of that first tier.
Yeah, you'd be really pissed. Stupid Tom Brady. All right, so now let's get our haterific moments.
All right.
Let's look at this top third.
Top third, okay.
Okay, most of these guys should be in the playoffs.
Mahomes wins all.
Was that?
I said Mahomes wins all.
All right, most of these guys should be in the playoffs this year, right?
Most likely.
All right, but let's talk about this. Patrick, Aaron, Matthew, they were in the playoffs, right?
Right.
Did Russell Wilson make it to the playoffs last year?
No.
No, he did not. Lamar Jackson?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Did he?
Baltimore.
Oh,
made
yeah.
it. But he was hurt.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Joe Burrow made it, right? Duh. Dak Prescott made it.
Yeah, I forget we have a bigger.
Did Herbert make it?
No.
Nah, he didn't. Desean Watson?
Yeah, no, he didn't. He didn't play.
Exactly. So, 3 guys in this top tier
Right.
didn't make the playoffs. Now, you can say, okay, well, one of them didn't play. Okay, cool. Still, even if you're in this top tier,
Right.
Depending on what division you're in, you're not always going to make the playoffs.
Right.
But these are the guys that anyone
That you expect to make it.
should expect in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Now, when I say this, and you want to sit there and tell me that one Dak Prescott is not in the same league as either Justin Herbert or Josh Allen. Now let's get the calculators out. How are we judging these guys?
Right.
Are we going to judge them
By
by their
uniforms.
record?
We're going by uniforms.
Okay, so record. Both these guys are young, right?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to give you some records. You can tell me which one's who.
Oh, man. Okay.
All right. 28-15, 32-16, 15-17. Out of the three, Dak, Josh Allen, and Herbert. This is in their first 3 years.
Dak is the 15 and 17.
What the fuck? Can nobody say 15-17?
Isn't that what you said? What'd
No.
you
It said 32-16, 28-15, and 15-17.
Oh, then my bad. The middle one's Dak.
You're wrong.
Oh, well.
Dak had 32-16 in his first 3 years.
Okay.
Josh Allen, 28-15. Okay. And Justin Herbert, 15-17.
Okay.
So when we look at that, part of it, Josh Allen went 5-6 in his rookie year, so he didn't play all of the games. That's why he had fewer. Justin Herbert's only played 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Now, in those 2 seasons, did he make the playoffs either time?
Nah.
And if we judge quarterbacks by making the playoffs, then people should be down on him, right?
It should be.
I mean, if that's the criteria.
Right.
But let's go ahead and fast forward. All right, so completion percentage in the first 3 seasons. I'm not even comparing last season yet, all right?
Okay.
But keep in mind, Justin Herbert only 2 seasons.
Right.
Okay. So one of them, completion percentage, 66.3. One of them, 60.3. And one of them, 66.1.
Okay.
Out of those 3, which one is Josh Allen? The highest, the lowest, or the middle?
Josh Allen is the middle.
Nope. He's the lowest.
Really?
And this is getting to my point.
Right.
So many people are putting Josh Allen into the Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes category.
Yeah.
Now, you look at him in his first 3 seasons. From these 3 quarterbacks, he's got the lowest completion percentage. Now, Justin Herbert has the most touchdowns through 2 seasons, right?
Okay.
Fool thrown 69 touchdowns. That's awesome, right?
Right.
But he did it without winning, so that sucks.
Right.
Dak, 67 touchdowns. Josh Allen, 67, both through 3 seasons, right?
Okay.
You're like, so they're the same. No, because Josh Allen had 31 picks.
Okay.
Dak had 25.
Okay.
Dak had roughly 1,000 more passing yards than him in the first 3 seasons. Okay? So when we look at his rating, quarterback rating,
Yeah.
Dak, 96.1. Josh Allen, 86.8. Justin Herbert, 98%.
Okay.
Now, the thing that keeps eliminating Herbert is that his team's not winning, right? So
Right.
during that time period, he's not winning.
Right.
Dak
Fucking
is winning.
sucks. It really sucks. Like when you're looking at like there's something there that's like, oh yeah, he's getting touchdowns and whatever. And I could say this again, coming from St. Louis, I used to get mad because they'd be like, oh, our team sucks so bad. But I used to tell them, but the quarterbacks, because this is who they're always trading out. They're always getting rid of the quarterback. I was like, the quarterbacks are still getting 300 yards a game. They're still getting a touchdown. Now, they're not necessarily winning those because that's what the problem was. They couldn't fucking win. but they still had solid stats for a player.
Yeah, they're still decent quarterbacks.
Yeah. And I used to get mad because, again, they would blame it on the quarterback. With all these different players that they were running through for the last few years they were in St. Louis. Even more recently.
And what he's talking about, for those that don't know, he's talking about the Mark Bolgers, the
who else was it?
Kurt Warners.
Not so much Warner because he actually
because
won.
it was during the back end of his career.
Yeah, once he was gone, yeah, definitely. But it was after he left that was when they started doing it to him.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of what pushed him out too. He had an injured thumb, and that's how he ended up losing his job. And they're rushing him back out there.
For Bolger and was it what's that other guy's name? They had two players that had
Case. The Bradford.
Yeah, Bradford. Yeah. And Keenum, yeah. So yeah, there's that. Then you can even take in recent years. I know since Peyton retired, they try to say like, well, the Broncos haven't had a good quarterback. They've had several good quarterbacks. The team just hasn't been able to stay healthy enough or allow them to do anything. Now, it's not all of them were solid, but they've had a couple good ones over the years, and they paid them way too much, but that's a different argument for a different day.
Yeah. So we're comparing some guys in that top tier. We're comparing the Daks, the Herberts, the Josh Allens, because some people say that, it's clear that Justin Herbert's the number 3, 4, 5. It's clear that Josh Allen is. And one of the guys that's right there in that mix, in that same grouping, is that Dak Prescott. So this last year, let's look at this last year, right? I'm going to give you a couple of guys. A couple stats. This quarterback had 37 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. This quarterback had 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Okay?
Okay.
And this quarterback had 36 touchdowns and 15 interceptions.
Okay.
The names of these guys are Aaron Rodgers, Dak Prescott, and Josh Allen.
Okay.
Which one is which? 37-4, 37-10, and 36-15.
The 10 is Aaron Rodgers, right?
Nope.
Okay. What were the other two?
37-10, 37-4, and 36-15.
Oh shit, that one's Aaron Rodgers. The last one.
Which one?
The 36-15.
Hell no.
Really?
Aaron Rodgers only had 4 picks, 37-4. Remember, that's what Aaron does. He don't throw picks.
Well, last year they were talking about him. This wasn't last year?
Yeah, last year.
Oh, okay.
Dak, 37-10.
Okay.
And Josh Allen, 36-15.
Okay.
You and I were down on Josh Allen last year.
Yeah.
We said, look, he's going to come back down to earth. So those of you who think that he's otherworldly, you're wrong.
Right.
And so he didn't have bad numbers, but he did have 5 more picks than Dak Prescott. Right? That matters. Now, let's go to another thing. Record. Those 3 quarterbacks, one was 12-5, one was 11-6, and one was 13-4. Which one was which?
I'm sorry, repeat that one more time.
13-4, 12-5, and 11-6.
11-6 was 11-6 was Dak.
Nah, he was 12-5.
Okay.
And see, this is why we got sued. Calling ourselves a know-it-alls, and then you get shit wrong.
Yeah.
Josh Allen, 11-6. Aaron Rodgers, 13-4. So you're trying to tell me, and I'm not talking about you specifically. I'm saying those people out there say Josh Allen's better than Dak. Obviously, in the first 3 years, Dak's numbers were better.
Yeah.
Last year, we're talking about record, Dak had a better record.
Right.
Okay? Dak's numbers are closer to Aaron Rodgers than they are to Josh Allen.
Right.
Okay? Now, when we look at completion percentage, okay?
Okay.
This quarterback was ranked 4th in the NFL. Okay?
Okay.
This quarterback was ranked 24th in the NFL. Okay?
Okay.
And this quarterback was ranked 8th. Looking at these things, we can see that Dak ranked 4th in completion percentage, just behind Aaron Rodgers, who was ranked 3rd.
Yeah.
Josh Allen had good numbers. Justin Herbert had good numbers. And in some categories, better than Dak.
Right.
But in some, it wasn't even close how far behind these guys were to Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, and Dak.
Right.
Not saying these guys won't get better. But for those quote-unquote experts out there that are putting Josh Allen in the top 5 because they loved what he did against Patrick Mahomes,
Yeah.
dude ain't there. Herbert ain't there. Herbert, for all his great stats, ain't winning.
Right. You know, that's the one that I'm sorry, that's why I was kind of to get distracted when you were asking me those, was I was looking up Sam Donaldson about how a few years ago they were like, he's the new truth. He's going to be the greatest thing. And
Sam Darnold?
Huh?
Darnold?
Yeah.
You said Donaldson.
Oh. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, Carolina, like when they got him, they were praising him like how great he was going to be this thing, and he hasn't done a whole lot.
Look, I think Josh Allen is a good quarterback.
Yeah.
I think Justin Herbert's going to be a really good quarterback.
Yeah.
I also know San Diego has a tendency of shooting themselves in the foot. You can say the same thing about the Cowboys. Cowboys issues go to their owner and him putting them in bad position. But whatever. Yeah. I'm just saying, Dak's better than these guys. They're all in the same tier.
Right.
But for people to say, oh, this guy's definitively top 5 and Dak's not in their league, that's the type of shit that pisses me off.
Yeah, the thing that really, again, it goes back to, like, what are you basing it on? Are you going off of the points, the system? Like, what are you going off
because
of?
Because, look, to what you're saying.
Yeah.
When they go off of win-loss record,
yeah,
they say, oh, yeah, but Dak won because of Zeke.
Right.
When they go off of stats, oh, yeah, but Dak throws it short, and I don't care if he has high numbers. He does it when he's coming back.
Right.
Okay, if he's doing it during comebacks,
yeah,
how come you don't say that shit about Justin Herbert when he's losing?
Right.
I can tell you my theory. It's a skin color thing.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Josh Allen and Justin Herbert are fine quarterbacks.
Right.
But they're not statistically head and toes above some of these other guys that are in the same tier, but people talk about them as though they are.
Right.
And I'm just saying, be real with it. Say, hey, these guys are all one and the same, but I think this guy's going to be better. And I'm cool with that. Right. Say, I think he's going to get to this other spot. But you sitting there telling me Josh Allen's better than Dak is stupid.
We've also touched in previous episodes how even if you want to hate on the Cowboys and say the Cowboys aren't good, we also know a lot of teams play harder against the Cowboys than they do any other team. And
playing the Cowboys is their Super Bowl.
And it's honestly, and the reason for it is because the Cowboys have a lot of games that are televised. There's a lot of people that are watching those games, listening to those games. Whatever the stats as far as for viewership goes, that's your team is probably going to get more viewership that night than it is in any other night unless you make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So that's why they do that. And for whatever reason, well, I know why. They hate Cowboys fans. So that's even more reason that they just want to be able to rub it in their face if they can pull off this win. But as we stated in the last episode, this previous season, the Cowboys were setting the new record for their own team. They were ranked number 4. They were ranked, 4 and what else? Like rushing and points. They were
ninth in rushing. They're number 1 overall offense.
Yeah, see.
Yeah, it was stupid good numbers.
And all season, all they did was like, yeah, but what about this or what about that? And,
they qualify all the Cowboys stats, but they don't for anybody else.
Yeah. So, and that's kind of the whole point of everything. Like, if you look at all of these, how are you grading who's better? Like, and that's why I was joking we're going off of uniforms. We're going off who has the nicer looking uniform when they wear it.
Yeah. All right, so this was our quarterback rundown. We are going to make sure that we get you plenty of content. We got a lot more stuff to talk about before this season starts.
Right.
So I need y'all to pay attention and look for our other upcoming podcasts.
Yes. So we're going to do... we got bonus episodes that we'll probably be doing. We got things of that nature. So you want to make sure that you're tuning in. You want to make sure that you are sharing. Please comment wherever you can. If you're on YouTube, wherever it is, like, comment, subscribe, share all that stuff because we need all that stuff for more people to see us and hear us. We're doing all right now, but we could always be doing a little bit better as far as for that.
If you have any questions for Kyle, go ahead and send those in, and we'll ignore them.
So we're going to conclude this episode. Okay, we're going to conclude this one. Then we have more stuff that's coming.
One of our more traditional episodes where we're hitting on more subjects.
Yeah. But in the meantime, guys, again, please like, comment, share, subscribe. You can follow Coach Rudy on Twitter at
RudyV1982.
You can follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at SleepyJ, SLEEP_E_J. Sorry, had a moment of like, wait, what did I just say? Anyways, until next time, take it easy.
Peace.